The Great Depression by Callie Lewis and Kaylee Nell. What was the Great Depression? The Great Depression was a severe economic crisis that occurred worldwide throughout 1929 to 1941. It was caused by the stock market crash of 1929 and was characterized by high levels of unemployment, financial instability, and a significant decrease in industrial production. A few factors contributing to the Great Depression. The stock market crash. The stock market crash of 1929, known as Black Tuesday, was a horrible event that led to the loss of confidence in the financial system. The crash marked the end of a period of economic growth known as the Roaring Twenties, which was characterized by a speculative boom in the stock market. The crash was caused by a variety of factors, including overvaluation of stocks, excessive speculation, and a lack of regulation in the financial industry.
The aftermath of the crash was felt for years, with widespread bank failures, high unemployment rates, and a prolonged period of economic depression. It was a dark time in American history that led to significant changes in the financial industry, including the establishment of new regulations and the creation of the Federal Reserve System. Despite the devastation caused by the crash, it also served as a valuable lesson for future generations about the dangers of unregulated speculation and the importance of a stable financial system.
Bank failures. Following the stock market crash of 1929, the U.S. went into a deep and prolonged economic depression. This event marked the beginning of the Great Depression, a time of widespread unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. In the years that followed, thousands of banks failed due to insolvency, leading to a loss of savings and further decreased consumer confidence.
The impact of these failures was felt by millions of Americans, many of whom saw their life savings disappear overnight. The resulting economic instability had far-reaching effects on the country, including increased homelessness, decreased access to health care and education, and a general sense of despair.
Overproduction and underconsumption. During the early 20th century, the growth of industries and the rise of mass production led to a significant increase in the output of goods. However, this growth led to an imbalance between supply and demand. Industries were producing goods at a faster rate than consumers could purchase them, leading to a surplus of goods and a decrease in demand. This surplus goods, in turn, led to an economic instability and a decrease in the prices of goods. As a result, many industries faced financial losses and had to slow down their production.
Global economic factors. The Great Depression had global repercussions and caused economic instability in Europe as well. The war reparations and the gold standard further worsened the situation, making it difficult for countries to recover. The gold standard, which was a monetary system that backed up currencies with gold, made it harder for countries to use monetary policy to stabilize their economies.
These factors combined created a perfect storm of economic collapse, leading to widespread unemployment, poverty, and hardship for millions of people around the world.
The outcomes of the Great Depression. Rise of government intervention. Governments across the globe implemented a range of policies to tackle the economic crisis. In the United States, President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal introduced several economic and social programs that aimed to offer relief, recovery, and reform. This was a significant step towards increased government intervention in the economy.
Regulatory reforms. After the Great Depression, several measures were implemented to prevent a similar crisis from happening in the future. The U.S., the Glass-Steagall Act, was passed to separate commercial and investment banking activities. Additionally, the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC, was established to regulate the stock market.
The shift in economic thinking. The Great Depression presented a challenge to the prevailing economic theories of the time. This crisis led to the emergence of new ideas regarding macroeconomic policy and the role of the government in managing the economy. One such idea was Keynesian economics, which emphasized the importance of government intervention to stimulate demand during economic downturns. This approach gained prominence and continues to influence economic policies to this day.
The global impact. The Great Depression of the 1930s had a profound impact beyond the borders of the U.S. Its economic repercussions and social turbulence were felt across the world. The crisis also gave rise to extremist political ideologies and contributed to the destabilization of the international political order. Ultimately, these factors paved the way for the outbreak of World War II, one of the deadliest conflicts in human history.
The social consequences. The Great Depression had significant social consequences such as widespread unemployment, homelessness, and poverty, leading to increased awareness of social inequality and the need for government intervention to address social welfare issues.
The Great Depression had a profound and lasting impact on the world's economy, politics, and society in the 20th century.
The timeline of events in the Great Depression. 1929, Wall Street crash starts the Depression.
1930, the Dust Bowl begins.
1931, food riots and bank collapse.
1932, Roosevelt is elected as president.
1933, first 100 days and the New Deal.
1934, the Dust Bowl and drought continued.
1935, Works Progress Administration begins.
1936, Roosevelt was elected as president again.
1937, New Deal program spending was cut.
1939 was the start of World War II.
1940, budget defense increased.
1941, the U.S. entered the war.
Interesting facts about the Great Depression. 12,830,000 people were unemployed.
Trade policies surprisingly made the Great Depression worse.
Crime increased during the Great Depression.
World War II ended the Great Depression.
The Great Depression impacted people globally.
Franklin D. Roosevelt took action as soon as he became president and worked on getting the people out of the Great Depression.
Herbert Hoover was president whenever the Great Depression started.
Here's a few pictures of the Great Depression, just showing people how terrible this time actually was and how it affected the people in their daily lives.
And here's our Works Cited page.